Hello. Welcome to my video on good attributes for a show horse. Welcome guys. Hi, my name's Whitney. I'm from WSS Equestrian and I'm riding my horse Guitar this afternoon, and I thought, what? He's like, okay, she's distracted, I'm going to swing a Yui and we'll go back to the horses. No, we're not going back to the horse float. We're going to warm ourselves down. We're going to go for a nice walk. Anyways, not a very good attribute, that one. Hi guys, I wanted to shed light today, literally, the light sunset. I want to shed some light on good attributes for show horses. So I come from a lot of experience with thoroughbreds, X-race horses. I worked in the racing industry all through high school. So I'm big on thoroughbreds. Other breeds, like I grew up with stock horses and ponies and stuff like that and quarter horses, but thoroughbreds, that's where my heart lies. I just love my thoroughbreds. Thoroughbreds are just beautiful, and there's so many out there, and there's lots to cater for us in the show world in thoroughbreds. Other breeds, not so much, if that makes sense. I guess you know, but anyways, it's, if you know what I mean, like thoroughbreds have much more opportunities in the show ring. So yeah, let's not go there, you know. Can ramble on and I'll say the wrong thing and I'll get into politics here. So attributes. When it comes to looking for good attributes in a show horse or an off-the-track thoroughbred for horse showing, these are things like, speaking from experience from my horses, you want a horse that's quiet. It's got good temperament on the ground. Obviously horses are a fight or flight animal. They're a flight animal. And you know, yes, we all have accidents. No matter how quiet, you get kicked eventually. You know, it's just what do you call it? It's the odds game. It's just sort of Russian roulette in the way with horses. One way or another, there's going to be an injury, and that's life, and that's that. There's no, yes, you can prevent it as much as you can. Okay, I'm rambling off again. So you want a quiet horse that is as quiet as possible on the ground, in my own personal opinion. But even when they're really quiet at home, they're a completely different animal when you get to the show ring. So be prepared for that. That is also another thing you need to deal with. Once, it's all on with the carnies and other horses and cars and bang and clanging and fireworks and everything's going on, wood chopping and all that sort of stuff. So you want as quiet a temperament as possible. You don't want something that's spooky, freaks out, shies at everything, because you most likely end up injured, or someone else will be injured, or another horse will be injured. So it's best to try and get something as safe as possible. And then you want to go for a horse with really good conformation in that way of attributes. You don't want a horse that's really poorly put together skeleton wise, if that makes sense. It's just not a good match in the show world. Like you can, what's the saying, dress up a pig as much as you like, but it's still always going to be a pig, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying that things are ugly, but you know what I mean. There's a quality in the show world that the judges are looking for, and that's being frank and that's being honest. You know, some horses just aren't cut out to be show horses. As much as we love them, we think they're the best, they're not. The movement, the rhythm, the soundness, it's not there. So you want a horse with really good conformation. And then my next attribute that I look at in a horse for showing is forwardness. So horses like Teddy, Qatar, who I'm riding right now, they have forward, they have go, they have willing to move forward, and so does Jessie. Shrek, on the other hand, my bay thoroughbred with the 3-watt socks, he has no go. He is literally flogging a dead horse. Like, he failed as a racehorse. Like, he hated racing, hates running, he hates going forward. Like, he's just, I don't know how we're going to go into the future with him. Like, he can get up and going, but, and I've had him vetted and stuff like that, but horses that aren't willing to move forward, it's pushing shit up creek in that sense, okay? So you need to look for a horse with go, with forward, with spunk. Also, another attribute to look at into a show horse is personality. Shrek has no personality. Teddy has all the personality in the world. I've got polar opposites in my horses. One that is as dull as anything, and one that is spunky and funky as anything. Actually, Jessie, my female mare, she is the most spunkiest of them all. She rares and barks and gets all excited and has sparkle in her eye. So Teddy does that, but Shrek, he doesn't. He's plain Jane, very, very plain Jane. So you want that personality, that spunk, that individuality in a show horse. You don't want just the same old mobster, if that makes sense. And then another trait that I look for in horses is being able to put them in a paddock for 6 months, a month, whatever, leave them alone, pull them straight out, not even have to lunge Obviously, don't do this at home. If you know your horse, you got to do what you got to do. But I personally, if I can't have a horse, leave it in a paddock and then pull it out and ride it without it bucking me off, it's no go. But I don't know, everyone's different. Our energies are different. Horses read our energy, good people versus bad people, and that sort of stuff. And they read off the fear and the anger and what's going on. They, horses aren't silly, they know. So I'm very lucky. My horses don't try and buck me off and kill me. Like, we have very good working relationships. We got really good friendships, if that makes sense. So anyways, that's a really, really big attribute for me. Like Teddy, I can take him to a show and he's never dropped me once since I've been showing him since 2014. Never once has he dropped me at a show. He's never bucked me off. Like at home, we've had injuries due to my rider error. I've put side reins on him for the first time, pulled his head into his lead chest just about, and he threw me off into a fence because I jumped on him with the side reins on for the first time. Like, it was a recipe for disaster, and I worked that out pretty quickly. And then another time I was trail riding him down the road and the rein come undone, so I jumped off, put it back on, but we were on our own and it was windy and I was cranky. I was fighting with my boyfriend at the time, and I jumped off, tried to jump back on, but I pushed myself too much and I went straight over his back and he just ran home. That sort of stuff. And then a paddock accident where the lead rope, I was leading Shrek while riding him bareback in a halter, and the lead rope on Shrek moved sides and it went under his tail. It pulled and it freaked him out and he bolted and he ran towards the fence, and then I fell off because he turned out the fence to turn the other way because he couldn't keep going. Anyways, those sorts of things, they're my caused accidents, not on the horse. So, and then floating's very important. I struggle with Teddy. Teddy is just a bad floater. He has come like that. He was just, it's from day one, day dot, he has not liked to float. He's much easier now with other horses on before him, and that's what the racehorse trainer did tell me when they dropped him off. Always put other horses on before Teddy. Definitely makes life easier. What else? Good doers. Horses that are good doers, also a huge godsend in the show world. Horses that aren't good doers, that's hard yakka. When they just physically just can't keep on the weight or hold on the weight or whatnot, that's another attribute. Good doers. I'm very lucky, all mine are very good doers. But again, it comes down to your feeding and exercise routine as well, so it's a bit of both, hand in hand there. What other attributes? This is very spontaneous on the spot, I will say. Yeah, honestly, that's about it. They're all my attributes that I put together when thinking, assessing and looking at a new horse. I don't want any old donkey. I don't want whatever's free up on Facebook or horse deals, whatever. I want a quality horse that is going to stand out in the show ring, who's going to be willing to work and move forward, who is sound to work properly, who is conformationally put together soundly, because it all plays a part. And part of a horse hasn't got good conformation, it hasn't got rhythm, it's not really sound as a show horse. And then beautiful manners, beautiful temperament in hand, and then when ridden, full of feed or not full of feed, and then good floating, because that all makes a big part of it. And then it's a whole completely different type of horse when you turn up to the show ring, unless you're really lucky. And Teddy's just that used to it. Like, yeah, his first show, we couldn't stand still. He just walked and stressed, but he raced to his 10, so you never know what he was thinking. And then like Shrek is a completely different horse. He's a very, very, very quiet horse, but then come going out to a show, he puffs up and he gets all tense and oh my god, look at this, oh my god, all this stuff to look at. But then he'll calm down and he'll get into his groove. But you want those types of horses, guys. You want horses that are sound, smart, and not going to try and kill you. So I hope that was a helpful, insightful video today. If you've got any requests, leave them in the comment section down below or message me on Instagram. I will see you in the next video, guys. I'm going to jump off Kataf now and call it a day. Have a good afternoon, have a good night. Yeah, thanks for joining me. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, and stay here with the journey. I'll see you in the next vlog, guys. Bye.